Types of semiconductor. There are two types of semiconductor materials: intrinsic type semiconductor and extrinsic type semiconductor. Intrinsic type semiconductor. The purest form of semiconductor is known as intrinsic type semiconductor. It is perfect insulator at 0 degree temperature. Extrinsic type semiconductor. The impure form of semiconductor is known as extrinsic type semiconductor. Control amount of impurity is added to pure semiconductor to make it impure. Doping. The process of adding impurity to pure semiconductor is called as doping. Extrinsic type semiconductor is divided into two types: N-type extrinsic semiconductor and P-type extrinsic type semiconductor. N-type extrinsic semiconductor. When a small amount of pentavalent impurity is added to pure semiconductor is known as N-type extrinsic semiconductor. Example: arsenic, phosphorus, bismuth. These are pentavalent impurities. Such impurities which produce N-type semiconductor are known as donor impurity because they donate or provide 3 electrons to the semiconductor. Your electrons are majority carrier and holes are minority carrier. P-type extrinsic semiconductor. When a small amount of trivalent impurity is added to pure semiconductor is known as P-type extrinsic semiconductor. Example of trivalent impurities: boron, indium, gallium, etc. Such impurities which produce P-type semiconductor are known as accept the electrons. Electrons are said to be minority carriers whereas holes are majority carriers. Difference between vacuum tube and semiconductor. Vacuum tube. An electrical device containing a hidden filament inside a glass tube is known as vacuum tube. It can handle large current. It can operate a high voltage supply. Vacuum tube can be easily replaced by user. It requires less maintenance. Semiconductor. It is the material when property lies in between conductor and insulator. It can handle small current. It can operate on low voltage supply. It cannot be easily replaced by user. Maintenance is very difficult. Integrated circuit and its advantages. An IC, also called as chips or microchips, and it is a semiconductor wafer on which thousands or millions of tiny resistor, capacitor and transistor are fabricated. Advantages: it has smaller size, lower cost and long life. It has lesser weight, high reliability. It requires low power.